Hello, and welcome to another episode of American in Bulgaria. My name is Les, and my wife and I moved to Bulgaria January of 2026. We've been visiting here for years, over a decade, and made the move this past January. In today's episode, I want to take you on a trip down the Sandanski, Bulgaria's Makedonia Street. It's their pedestrian street that leads from the city center, the city square, down to Sredi Vrach Park, which is their big city park. So, let's go. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's a Sunday morning here in Sandanski, and I thought for a change of pace, I'll give you guys a walking tour of the pedestrian street. So what we call Makedonia Street, which is behind me. It stretches like, I'm not sure how far it is, maybe a kilometer. But I'll take you along the whole route and point out some things along the way, and we'll see how it goes. Let's start our walk. Let's see, let me switch the camera around. And over here to our left is that says literally Dom, or House of Culture. But it's basically the Performing Arts Theater here in Sandanski. This is the city square, the main area where people can gather and have events and so on and so forth. Over here, also to my left, is there's a bar at the bottom, but at the very top is a library, actually. It's the biblioteca. It sounds the same as in Spanish. But yeah, it's upstairs, and here are the fountains that are actually turned off for now. There's a little breeze, so they don't want water splashing everyone. It's a little chilly out. And then back to the right is the Hotel Spartak, along with some cafes and stuff down below. Now, the name of this hotel changed, I think, not that long ago, a few years ago. When I first started coming here, it was called Hotel St. Nikolai, Sredi Nikolai, if I'm not mistaken. But let's continue on. Some more outdoor cafes. So this end, or this area where we just started, some people call it the beginning of the pedestrian street, or the end of the pedestrian street. I guess it depends on your perspective and where you're starting. So, now as we're leaving the square, now we get into more of the shops. A few cafes. There's a lot of cafes at the other end, which you'll see later. All along the pedestrian street, there's little side streets that that have restaurants and cafes and whatnot. In fact, and the reason I'm going up this way is because my next door neighbor, his favorite restaurant, or one of his favorites, is this guy here. It's a Greek place. But yeah, we've gone here before with him, and the food's very delicious, especially the fish and seafood. Let's head back down this way, get back on the main pedestrian street. And we have shops. And there's quite a few people out. It's The temperature, let me see what we got here, it says 8 degrees, which is not too bad. In some places you got a wind blowing, and some places it's nice and calm, but 8 degrees is nice. It's sunny, blue skies, very few clouds, at least overhead. There's clouds off in the distance. I don't know if you can see up there. But yeah, there's more shops. When we first got our place, I was getting our internet service from Yetel, the store here. And we've since switched to A1 for both our mobile phones and the home internet. They just had a better deal and whatnot. Yetel it was good, but we just felt like it was a better deal with A1. More shops. What else do we have here? A lot of quick food here, street food, and clothing shops of all kinds, from children's clothing, adults, to handbags, leather, and so on. There's a women's store. And then what we have over here is what we call Goom, or it's called Goom. It's their mall. And when I first started coming here, gosh, 11 years ago, this was an abandoned building. It was very popular back in the socialist, communist days, but it was uninhabited for quite some time. They just renovated it. I think it's been not even a year that it's been open. I think it opened last spring. So that, I have a few stores in there, and there's a couple more that will be opening soon. I want to take you guys back here to kind of tell you a cool story, not necessarily a funny story, but we're going off the beaten track here, kind of. And we go over here. There is this shop here with the green steps. It's actually a hardware store. They sell a lot of nuts and bolts and tools and things like that. I don't know if they're open, but I'm not going to go in. Looks like they're closed. So this place here, funny story, as we head back to the pedestrian store. A couple of years ago, we had gotten curtains and drapes for our living room and for our apartment, and I needed a hacksaw to cut the curtain rods to size. So I go here to buy a hacksaw. And I'm trying to converse with a lady with my very limited Bulgarian. And she was trying to understand. Finally, when we got through that, and she knew I needed to buy a hacksaw, she said, "Oh, we don't have hacksaws here." I said, "Okay, thank you." And she goes, "Wait." She goes in the back, and she comes out with her own hacksaw, a used one. You could tell it's been used, and something that I guess they just use around their place. And she hands it to me. I go, "Oh no, I don't want to take your only one." She goes, "No, take it, use it, and bring it back." And I was floored. I was like, wow. There's nowhere in the States you could go and have a complete stranger come up to you in your store looking for something who doesn't speak the language, and they loan you a tool. That was so cool. So I was very fortunate to have met that woman. And that's how the Bulgarian people are. They are very helpful. They'll go out of their way to accommodate you. So yeah, that was a very nice experience. Long story short, I took it back, cut the curtain rods, returned it within an hour, and She was happy, I was happy. It was a good deal. I think over here on the right, somewhere, there used to be a gym that I went to once when we were just visiting. It might be further down. Here they have like casinos and gambling, more shops. This is one of Lily's favorite shops that she goes to a lot to buy. We both buy like souvenirs and all kinds of things, even a few things for the house we bought. So yeah, there's the old Russian Soviet shirt, the Soviet Union shirt. A lot of obuvki. If you can see up there, it says obuvki, which means shoe or shoe store in Bulgarian. What else do we have? This place makes pretty good smoothies, fruit smoothies, fresh fruit. They make them there for you, which is very tasty. I mean, we make our own, but every now and then we want a quick fix and we're out and about, we'll go there. More obuvki. We're up there. This little stand here, it used to be, it would come way out to here, and they would have, you know, popcorn and all kinds of snacks and drinks, but from what I understand, it's for sale. So if anyone's looking to open up a little snack place, that's available. This is one of Lily's favorite jewelry places. We can buy silver. So she comes here when she's buying souvenirs for her granddaughters and family back home. Let's go back out here on the street, continue our walking tour. There's bakery, pastries, things like that. Look, this looks like a football team, youth football, having lunch, sitting around. If you saw one of my previous videos where there was like the award ceremony for what do you call it? Football, soccer. It's been going on for 3 weeks now. 1 week it's a certain age group, then the week after is a different age group, and then another age group. So it's either this weekend was the last, or there's one more age group coming. I'm not 100% sure on that. So I've taken a step back and backtracked to, you remember this place here I was showing you that's for sale? The little snack bar business thing. But anyway, I wanted to come down this street next to it. Let me switch that around to here. Now this little side street, nice little quaint place. It's pretty nice. I want to show you one of my favorite restaurants in Sandanski. It's this guy here. It's called Makedonia Street. So Street is the name of the park and the old name of Sandanski, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, Makedonia means traditional tavern, which basically has the traditional Bulgarian cuisine. This is very nice. Not only do you have the outdoor seating, but it's a pretty good size area inside as well. And there's the outside of it. And then going up this little cobblestone way here, you have some ancient columns and steps that they had uncovered. So this is kind of neat. All around Sandanski, you'll find ruins from, who knows how long, very old. But I'll show you a big area where they have the where they dug up ruins, and there's a museum there and whatnot. That's coming up shortly. Yeah, another thing I wanted to show is all around Sandanski and basically in Bulgaria in general, they'll have these little fountains, drinking fountains. They're all over the country, like on the side of a highway to, here on the side of the, off the sidewalk. It's just pure, cleanest water. It's the best water I've ever tasted, let's put it that way. But we and like most of the general population here will, have bottles and fill it up with water, be it just their own little personal water bottle or they bring big jugs, like a 5-liter or a greater jug, glass, plastic, whatever. So I was telling you about the ancient ruins. Here's the area here, and I may have shown this in other videos, but it's up here where you can see some of the ancient ruins that they dug up some years back. Before we continue with the video, I did a misservice to the Episcopal Basilica. I keep calling it just ancient ruins, so I think it deserves a much better introduction. So what you're seeing in the video is the outdoor section of the Basilica complex. It's an early Christian basilica dating back to the 4th century. Yeah, the 4th century, it's pretty old. The inside part is under roof of the museum, so that's protected from the weather. But yeah, you can picture back in the day, people coming from all around. It was a prominent building here in Sandanski. And the inside, there's a cross-shaped pool, a baptistery, if I'm saying that properly, a baptistery, where baptisms would take place. And so yeah, I just don't want to leave it as being ancient ruins. They are ruins, but it's actually ancient Episcopal Basilica. Back to the video. Now it's a protected area. And there's a museum attached to it on the other end there, where not only there are ruins inside the museum, they built it on top of the ruins, but there's also the outside area here. In fact, let me see if I can get up higher and get up to the top of these stairs close by. See what we can find. Here we go. This may give a better perspective of some of the ruins. So I'm not sure exactly. I got to do my research on what these ruins were and when they were. But yeah, I'll get back to you guys on that. And there's the view of the pedestrian street again. Here we can do a little side venture off this little side street here to show you this little ice cream shop. You can sit outside and have ice cream. Again, it's winter here, so they have shelters and heat. So there's a heat lamp in there. Kind of cool. different types of cuisine. There's an Italian restaurant. Up here we have a very nice, what they call pancakes here, or they call them palachinka, but we know them as crepes, basically, and they also call them pancakes here. So let's look at that. This place here, Vanini Pancakes. It's very cool. You can walk up to the window and order your palachinka and eat it. More cafes. And here's the entrance to the museum. Some of the stones and whatnot. Now here's like a glimpse into what's in the museum. I don't know if you can see all that, but there's some walls in there and whatnot. Might be hard to see exactly, but you can look at the floor and back in the old ancient times. All right, so more shops. This is a nice pizza place. We've enjoyed many a pizza there. So let's go back over here where we have, before we get into that, this building, this is like the courthouse, municipal building of Sandanski. And you have a restaurant here, Oasis, which is also very good. And as I was mentioning about the free-flowing water everywhere throughout the country, most of them look like this. They have like a little monument thing, and then they have water just flowing. And many times it is dual, whatever you call those things, spouts. And you just come and you fill up the water. Or you can just drink straight out of it. This tree here is 650 years old. And you can tell how huge it is as far as the girth. It's really nice and real shady in the summertime, when all the leaves are in. Let me see if I can give you a perspective as far as how wide it is. Let's see. I don't know if you can tell by that how wide that is. But yeah, it's huge. All right, here's like a little tourist map, wine related actually, and unfortunately Sandanski which is right here, is ripped out. But if you can see all along here, there's Melnik right up here. A lot of wine in this region. I like to refer to this area as the Napa Valley of the Balkans. There's so much wine produced here. Yeah, it's pretty nice. All right, here's, let me go through. You can see this fountain here. Of course, this fountain is off because of the winter time, but yeah, it's really nice. And the reason I'm showing you this particular fountain is if you look like right up there, you can see that's our building on top of that hill way up there. So we have a good view of looking down here in the valley of the city. So, and that's a 10-minute walk to our place. So we always walk when we're coming down here to the walking street, and today was no exception. Continuing, this is the end of the pedestrian street where all the cafés, like big cafes, a lot of outdoor space. This has the most outdoor space. Bars, music at night. So this is the place to be in the evenings, especially in the summer. It's pretty crowded through here. Even now, I don't know if you can tell by looking through the glass, but there's a lot of people in there eating. There's people on both sides, and some semi-modern architecture, along with some of the old stuff everywhere. So it's a good mixture. Bar Vega. This is a very nice place. Again, there's the water fountain sticking out for anyone to have. And more outdoor eating, which is nice. It is a nice day. It's Sunday afternoon, and it's warming up. I would imagine it's probably close to 12 degrees now. Celsius. So yeah, this is very nice. And up there you can see that's the Inter Hotel Sandanski, one of the two biggest hotels in the city. In fact, that's probably the largest. This is one of my favorite restaurants as well. I believe it's called the Orchid. That's what it translates to. Yep. And there's a lot of tables out here in the summertime. One evening, Lily and I were but actually eating here at an outdoor table, and we heard English. And it's like, wow, that's pretty cool that you can, that we heard English. So we chatted it up with a guy. It turns out to be Canadian, and yeah, he was here first for a few days, and it's pretty cool when you can, in a country where you don't speak the language and you don't hear English much, other than with Lily. But when you're out and about, it's nice to hear English. So I always make a point to say something to someone if I hear that. Okay, let's turn back around. Again, this is either the end or the beginning of the pedestrian street, however you want to call it, depending on your perspective. So yeah, more cafes. So at this end, there's a bridge, and when one thing ends, another thing begins, right? So this was the end of the pedestrian walkway, but it's also the beginning of the city's largest park. It's Park Sredi Vrach. And here's the beginnings of it. Again, could be the end, depending on where you're coming from. And it goes pretty far. I'm not sure of the distance. You can go that way. You can go along the river, down that way, and then it cuts through. It's all green. There's a big lake. So one of my upcoming videos will be walking through the park, give you a tour of the park. So that will come at a later time. Here's some more of the water that's pouring out again for anyone to use. This water, though, it's not necessarily drinkable right away, because if you look, it's 76 degrees. That's Celsius, so that's quite warm. You'd have to let it cool off, but that's like mineral water straight out of the ground. So there you have it. That was Makedonia Street, and Sandanski, Bulgaria, the main pedestrian street walkway. I hope you enjoyed it, and as usual, if you want to subscribe to this channel, it's free, you don't have to pay for it, and click on the little bell icon so you get notified whenever I publish a new video. Yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. So while I'm waiting for Lily to meet me here, she went walking to the park while I was walking down Makedonia Street. What better way to wait for her than with a Makedonia Bira, which is draft beer, in one of the cafés out here. Na zdravie.